Gather around, for I shall tell you a story of horror and derailment that has changed my life forever. A few months ago, we were starting a new game of a freeform RPG we created to introduce people from V to more tabletop-like gameplay. It was nothing complex, but it helps bring in certain elements to those who are interested in traditional games but not quite ready to play complex system. This game was to introduce new players to the system, and so we had a crop of new recruits. And then, a guy playing a character called Brolair joined. Now, our games aren't all that serious. We like to keep them fun, but we do try to have a certain semblance of sanity to stop things from devolving into an inevitable clusterfuck of stupidity. However, we do allow actions of a certain degree of awesome to happen should the player roll extremely high. Unfortunately for everyone involved, Brolair must have been the chosen of the dice gods. The first thing he decided to do was attack a door, upon the basis that it was a foul demon as it was talking. Except the door wasn't talking, it was just a person on the other side asking what the group of adventurers was doing there. Well, after this glimpse of things to come, the group is escorted up a tower to meet their employer for the quest. A wealthy noble is looking for his daughter, who disappeared during a trip to a nearby city. Being the good people that they are, our heroes take it upon themselves to retrieve this man's daughter. This does not go quite to plan. By now, our plucky band of heroes has reached the city without incident, and are searching for information about the possible whereabouts of the daughter. This takes the form of Brolair intimidating anyone within distance with frightening effectiveness. We use this opportunity to introduce a new player who just joined. Brolair proceeded to intimidate him for information, despite the fact that he knew he would not know. The new player responded to this with a punch. Because Brolair put all of his attribute points into resistance, the punch deflected off his chin and broke his hand. With their newfound companion, complete with a broken hand, they made their way to a traveling circus which was in town. It was rumored that the noble young woman was last seen there. The adventurers were intercepted by a pair of mages, played by two more players who had many people online at the time, who were tasked with stopping them from digging too deep. The mages were a powerful duo who'd worked together, and they were giving the party a hard time. One of the members was incapacitated, and they had dealt out quite a bit of damage. However, reckless magic is not suitable for fighting inside a circus tent, and it quickly caught ablaze. Everyone began to head for the exits, except for a single person, Brolair. For reasons that will remain forever unknown, he did something that made no sense whatsoever. He intimidated a burning, falling tent. We use a D100 system in this game, with rolls of 90 and upwards being crit fails, and those under 10 being crits. He rolled a 1 to intimidate a tent. Well, that tent decided that it wasn't going to burn anymore. Everyone was understandably flabbergasted to find a burning circus tent rising back up into the air and extinguishing itself on its own accord. The mages used this opportunity to escape, but a dumbfounded slaver was still within the tent. He turned to leave the tent before Brolair had the brilliant idea of throwing a ball of dirt at the man to somehow stop him. With it all in the mid-90s, all Brolair accomplished was to throw dirt over the entire party and let the man escape. Feeling rather foolish at letting their lead get away, Brolair proceeded to intimidate time. He intimidated an intangible cosmic force into rewinding itself so he could throw a dirt ball at a fleeing slaver. Of course, he rolled a 1. Well, time decided it would do just that, and the party was flung a few seconds into the past. Brolair proceeded to do the exact same as he had before, rolling poorly again on the throw, and covered everyone in dirt, letting the slaver escape. Luckily, a hero with more sense stumbled upon a hidden entrance within the tent to another room in their dirt-covered confusion. The room was filled with hundreds of caged young women, a slave market for girls forced into prostitution by criminals and thugs. A room filled with crying, half-naked, beautiful women. You can guess where this is heading. 2 rolls later, and the entire force of slavers was routed through intimidation, and every single female in the room has swooned for Brolair, who rolled a 1 on his seduction check. I should point out that Brolair had the minimum possible value for his social attribute, meaning that every successful roll was under 10. With hundreds of thankful women now craving to pleasure their savior, the party was able to locate the nobleman's daughter among the teeming mass of scantily clad females. Mission accomplished. Now all they had to do was bring her back to her father in one piece. This would not be an easy task, as they were being followed by a large group of women. To rectify this, Brolair chose to intimidate every single one of them. Yep, he critted that one too. With that problem dealt with, the party began their journey back to the nobleman's tower. This was made harder as they were having to drag the unconscious body of Brolair with them, for he decided to intimidate himself into a coma so he could have a break. After being waylaid by a native tribe of savages, the rest of our heroes fought against large numbers of screaming tribesmen and came out victorious, albeit heavily wounded. With the immediate danger dealt with, Brolair intimidated himself back out of his self-induced coma so that the party would not miss his shining influence. Was his character a mountain of muscles with green hair? Actually, he was just an incredibly deranged version of Solaire from Dark Souls. He may or may not have been a mountain of muscles with green hair underneath his armor, but we'll never know. Thank Christ. Not much of note transpired on the rest of the journey pack, although Brolair decided to finish off what he had started several hours ago and destroyed the tower door he had damaged. The head butler was not very pleased with the wanton destruction of the tower's entrance, but stayed himself from sending them away upon seeing the young daughter of his master. Our heroes brought her before her father and reunited them, earning the thanks of a powerful lord in the area. He offered them any gift that was in his ability to give. The more prudent members of the group asked for weapons, armor, or gold, the usual adventuring kit. Brolair asked for his daughter's hand in marriage. 1 roll later, we have a thoroughly seduced daughter of a thoroughly angry nobleman. He refused the request, for he did not want his daughter to be married to a reckless and rather insane adventurer. The nobleman demanded that the other members of the party stop their comrade from stealing away his precious daughter, and the reason they wanted this adventure. One of the more sane heroes decided to apprehend Brolair as to appease his new lord. This proved rather difficult, for Brolair decided to intimidate time repeatedly so as to escape unscathed without fail. Yes, he made every single roll. The dice gods really do choose odd champions. In an act of desperation, a few of the party members combined their magic to form a large bomb of spiritual energy and launch it at Brolair in order to slay him for good. It seemed that they had enough of his spotlight-stealing antics. They rolled a 2. He rolled a 1. Yes, he actually named his character Brolair. Not just Brolair, but Brolair of Astora. To take the pun even further, he maximized his attributes into being able to roll assist actions, just because it shorted to ass. He never rolled any assists. Well now, this was just too much for reality to handle. The dice gods had clearly spoken. Brolair can and will intimidate anything he feels like. That spirit bomb, summoned by several powerful heroes together, gone. Intimidated out of existence. Nobody could quite believe what had happened. It just did not make sense. How could one man be so lucky with his rolls that he was able to fuck with the laws of physics? I didn't know, the DM didn't know, the game universe didn't know. In response to such sheer luck, reality itself decided to just go along with whatever Brolair wanted. He was granted a wish. Now, for all his faults, Brolair really did just want one thing, and that was to have adventures with bros. With a somewhat unexpected show of unity from a group of people who were trying to kill each other, the heroes bumped their fists together upon the insistence of Brolair. This brofist was what he wished for. The world we created for our little freeform game wasn't quite the same after that fateful brofist. A new plane of existence was created, where adventurers would live on after death in endless adventure and brotherly companionship. For such an incredibly unlikely turn of events, Brolair was deified as the new ruler of his spirit realm, which he dubbed Brawlhalla. That is where a clusterfuck of a tale ends. It really was damn stupid, and I don't blame anyone for not wanting to read through such sheer insanity. Here's to you, Brolair. You ruined everything, in the nicest way.